Well, I wasn't breaking in the 80s. The 80s, I couldn't even do the dance. I was just always watching the dance. I started breaking in 1993, and my first inspiration was Crazy Legs. When I saw Crazy Legs, I was like, I gotta learn how to dance like that. So I went up, I went up to Legs and I asked him, how can I learn how to dance like that? He said, you gotta come to New York City and start training. So I used to save money and go every other 2 weeks, I used to go up there and train with Legs. But when I saw Prince Ken Swift, that's when I was like, bye Legs. But no, Legs, no, hold on, stop. I'm just playing. Legs is my first B-boy teacher who made me understand foundation. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have picked up the stuff that Ken Swift taught me. Like I said, foundation is first. Before you can go anywhere in life, you gotta have foundation. And that's what Crazy Legs did for me. But then Ken Swift just made me open my eyes and start doing stuff that no other B-boy was doing, So he just started helping me making my own styles and stuff, and I just started seeing other B-boys like Quick Step, Storm, my man Stuntman, Remind, and all them. So I just started adding different stuff from them and started creating my own style. But what really made me be different from a lot of B-boys is when I met this man right here, Greg Camelot Jr. He has Greg inspired me not only to be a good dancer or be a funky dancer, but to be a respectful dancer and to respect all dance form. This man never talked bad about nobody. Nobody. No matter how much they said bad stuff about him, he never said nothing bad about them. And I'm like, how could you do that? Let's go serve them. Did you hear what they just said about you? Let's go do it. He go, no. When people stop talking about you, that's when you got problems. When people start saying all bad stuff about you, that means you're doing something right. So I was like, wow, how can he be so calm and relaxed and not go battle them fools and just go destroy them after they say something like that? So he taught me so much. He taught me how to be funky, and I took my locking and put it into my breaking. And by stopping breaking for a while and going to locking and getting all the funk dance and listening to all the slow music and getting all the soul dances from locking, that helped my breaking go to another level because I started adding locking into my breaking. So they was my big inspiration, Prince with Legs and Stunts and Quick Step and Greg Camelot Jr.
Nowadays, the heroes in this world and the competitions, it's technique, or fundamentals. I want to know your take.
No, just like I always say, people get mad at me when I judge B-boy contests because you have all these kids doing all these incredible tricks, but they're not doing the foundation first. Whatever dance style, you can't get in a popping contest and start waving and you don't pop. It's called popping. Before you start adding something into this dance, you have to add the fundamental in everything you do. When you break, you gotta add the top rock and the sixth step, because if you take the top rock and the sixth step away from b-boying, you no longer have b-boying. If you take popping away from popping, then it's not popping. So as long as y'all understand the foundation of what dance you're doing and you get that down, then you can start adding other stuff to it. But a lot of people just feel that they don't need the foundation. They think that they can do all these incredible moves and everybody starts going crazy and they feel that God gives to the world, but they just didn't do the dance that they just signed up for, and then they wonder why they get mad when you got real judges who understand how to judge this dance, say that they lost, but the crowd is booing because they was like, this guy just killed it. This guy didn't do the dance. So how did he kill it? He probably killed it in move, but he didn't kill it in the dance that he signed up for. So. I hope that answers your question.
Oh, no, for real. Yeah.
Don't stop doing what you're doing.
Okay, this has been on my mind. So what would your opinion be if dancing, any style of dance, it doesn't have to be anything specific, but if it was in the Olympics, how, like, would you be for that, or would you be against that, and why?
If dancing was in the Olympics, oh, I'm totally for it. It depends also on what styles that they're looking for, but I'm not against it at all. I mean, the more exposure that we can give and can get about dancing and give to the world, I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. There is no negative in that. Flo?
I love you, brother, but I'm totally against it. I
Woo!
love you. I love you. I'm not trying to start nothing. I love it. We have an ego about us that once we get in front of people, we forget about the dance. We always want to just do these incredible tricks just to please or make everybody go wild and crazy. And I don't feel like this dance is meant to become a sport, because it's not a sport, it's a dance. We are not here as, we don't dance for sport. We do it because we want to express ourselves, and this is what we love to do. When we step on this floor, everybody that stepped on here tonight is expressing themselves. They're showing themselves. They're not thinking about sport. They're not thinking if you clapping or you going crazy what they did. They're just expressing themselves. And I just feel that if that gets into the Olympics, we're going to lose the realness and the rawness of what this dance is. Because look at us now. We are not even in the Olympics, and dancing is kind of just sliding down a little bit, so I'm totally against it.
What if you were judging?
Even if I was judging.
See, that's real. That's real talk, He has his opinion, I have mine. It doesn't make either one wrong.
And I'm not going to go outside and beat him up because he...
Right. It's all love. But you know what I mean? That's what it should be. The discussion is, hey, here's my opinion. Okay, here's my opinion. Okay, cool. Let's go in and out.
Let's get down.
So I have a question before I ask that, though. Obviously, Flo mentioned, I'm still not with. I think one thing that we've both been around long enough, and I really want to give Flo credit, because it's rare that you get influenced by someone and then you're sitting on the opposite side. Flo influenced me from one particular go down he did at Big Boy Summit '94. I think I told him before, and I adapted and developed everything from one little thing that I saw him do. So for him to tell me years later that I'm doing something he does, I think that's a success for any artist. And as far as breaking the rules, a quote that I heard before that you guys don't want to think about is, before you can break the rules, you got to know the rules. So keep that in mind, because a lot of people forget that. Like, what are you breaking? Well, the rules, what are they? Anyways, my question is, when you guys were young, obviously you loved to dance. I think everyone in this room, in one way, shape, or form, but what was a pivotal moments, whether it was 1, 2, a week, a year, where you said, holy Jesus, this is something I'm going to do for the rest of my life for a living? Now, it went beyond just expressing yourself in a club or smoking cats on the sidewalk, but it was like, this is my income now. Where was that, and how did it affect you?
Well, I know for me, it's when I moved to New York City and got put in Jam on the Groove for the Off-Broadway show. I started traveling around with Kim Swift and some of the pioneers of this dance, and that's when I was like, you can get paid for this? You can make a living off of this? I like this. So that was when I was like, I want to do this for a living.
My first royalty check from a CVS promo. Again, such as yourself and everyone who's in this room, we do it because we love it. We do it because if we couldn't do it, what else would we do? How else would we breathe? How else would we walk? I know that for me, at 8, it was my calling. I heard an actress say, acting called me and chose me, I didn't choose it. And I was like, girl, what are you talking about? And then as I backtrack over my life,